my first video, I briefly touched on how there are a growing number of people that believe the NBA has become a cesspool for cheating. A nightmare the NBA has been trying to put to bed with all sorts of rule changes, like coaches being able to challenge calls and the new flop rule. Despite their efforts, basketball fans are not waving the rigged NBA flag just yet. Some say it's the players, some say it's the coaches, some say it's the owners, but most say it's the refs and the league. That last group might not be that crazy. Let's talk about it. I know there are those of you that look for all sorts of patterns when it comes to the NBA and if they rig games. My advice is stop. You're wasting your time trying to track the impossible. As I established in my first video, the NBA is a storyline driven league. Part of that means they sow seeds in both directions. Without getting too deep, an example would be 2023's MVP race. The battle of Joker versus the process. If Joker won, he would have been the first player to win 3 consecutive MVPs in a row. This would have allowed him to surpass Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Are you kidding me? I'm not an MJ fanatic, but the guy is widely considered the best ever. The GOAT, the creme de la creme. If I know something about the NBA, it's that they'll never allow a player to shatter a record that upholds Jordan's greatness. Think of him as the gold standard. However, since the league requires a story, keeping Joker's name in the race was big news, and the league got so much press debating about it. In the end, Embiid won, and they gave the championship to Joker, building Embiid's legacy and planting Joker squarely in the Hall of Fame. This is the type of storyline win for both players that is almost impossible to track. In fact, the only reason I thought of it is because a few years ago, I noticed how the league began to put emphasis on trying to grow the concept of a superstar league. Since there can never be another Jordan, why not sell that whoever is deemed the best player is also competing with the guys that truly rival him? Similar to how the league seemed to operate before, but if you follow basketball, you know before 2010, the NBA never considered having more than 5 to 7 superstars in the league at a time. Now commentators act as if there are 15 to 20 on any given year. In some cases, more than one on certain teams. LeBron and Anthony Davis are the perfect example of this in the modern day. Sorry AD, but I can't believe the hype, and some commentators are struggling to keep the fire burning as well. In the last video, I touched on how Embiid wasn't putting forth the best effort, and honestly, I was shocked by what I saw. I usually watch a handful of his games every year, and I'm usually impressed in what I see, so seeing him bat the ball around in a close game was disappointing. I digress. That wasn't the only reason they lost the game though. Let's look at a few calls down the stretch that were, I guess we'll say, blown for now. Quick pause. Let me set the scene. It's fourth quarter, and the 76ers have fought back after trailing the entire game, a majority of which they were down double digits. They have reclaimed the lead, and the score is now 104 to 102. Let's pick up in the fourth quarter with 4:04 on the clock. Roll the tape. Here we see Embiid playing great defense on Giannis. He gets the good contest and forces the miss. Giannis, the former MVP that he is, snatches the offensive board and tosses up another layup. Uncontested, air ball, which he grabs right in front of the ref. You can't see the ref off to the left on the baseline, but watch as Embiid turns to signal for a travel. No dice. Lillard catches and hits a 3 to reclaim the lead. It happens, right? Refs miss calls. I agree. Let's continue. Clip 2. Kelly Oubre bounce passes to Tobias Harris and set the screen. At the same time, Jay Crowder decides to put on his best Denzel performance and flings himself into the ground. Notice the sideline ref is not the one who blows the whistle. Look at everyone's head turned towards the ref on the other side of the court. Now, how he had a better angle than the guy 10 feet away is beyond me. But maybe the league is paying him for his high-level eyesight. Who knows? Moving on. Clip 3. If you've already noticed that the last clip ended at 3:24, you'll see this was the very next play, starting at 3:18. Lopez sets a good screen and Lillard pulls a 3 with a twist. In his mind, he was fouled, so he flails his body and the ref blows the whistle. In real time, it's impossible for us to see if Oubre fouled, so let's slow it down. I will apologize for the bad angle, but when TNT replayed the clip with a close-up, they decided not to give us multiple angles, a habit the league has when the refs make bad calls. Anyway, let's look for the foul at the top. Look at the arms, no contact. Let's look midsection down to the feet, no contact here, not in the landing space. You can see Lillard doing a ninja kick, acting like he was hit. I'm sorry guys, but I really do love watching basketball, but this is just ridiculous. Like, what has our sport turned into? But let's carry on. Clip 4. The next play, Embiid comes down and he has given up on shooting jumpers and takes it to the rim. He's met by Lopez and Giannis. The refs correctly call a foul. The Bucks decide to challenge, which is fine. Now this is where the league is just getting bad at tricking us. They show the play in slow motion and we clearly see Lopez hit Embiid in the chest, which the refs ruled marginal contact. Now I would say a 7-footer smacking you in the chest is not marginal, but look at this angle. Lopez plants his feet before jumping. When he jumps into the air, he smacks Embiid in the chest, marginally, but somehow the contact carries him over a foot closer to the basket. Look at these two images of where his feet start on the left and where his feet end on the right. The worst part is they got it wrong on a challenge. But hold this clip in your mind because it comes into play in about a minute. Clip 4. This clip is simple. Maxey, strong take, and Giannis clips his arm and no call. May have been body contact by Lopez, but this is the only angle, so that's hard to tell. Let's just get to the last clip before I lose it. Clip 5. Remember I said to keep that play that was ruled marginal contact in mind? Well, here's why. This time it's Dame attacking and Embiid contesting. The foul is initially called on Embiid and the 76ers challenge to play. We can clearly see the contact to Lillard's side is on par with how Lopez hit Embiid on the last challenge. However, the refs in some magical far-off land ruled this was not marginal contact. The funny part is that Embiid even brings up the previous play to the ref, but he's just wasting his breath. I mean, this is just shameful. Cut it off. Let me give you the storyline. The Bucks have to win opening night at home. Lillard has to break the record for most points scored in a Bucks debut with 39 points. The previous record was held by Terry Cummings, who scored 34 points in his Bucks debut in 1984. So, if we call Giannis for a travel, Lillard can't hit that three. So that's 36 points. If we take away Lillard's flop on his missed 3-point attempt, resulting in him hitting 3 free throws he didn't earn, that's 33. Just under the debut record of 34. And second just isn't quite as exciting to hear. Now is it? Plus, winning opening night and setting a record gives the credibility to the Bucks billing as the best team in the East. They are the team that is supposed to oppose the Denver Nuggets, the league's only hope in the East. I mean, this is just high-level marketing, plain and simple. I'm working on a video where I developed an algorithm that shows the 6 most important teams to the NBA. And I wasn't shocked to see the 76ers appear in that top 6. The surprise was the validation this game offered. I digress. It's one thing to miss calls in real time because there are only 3 refs and they are human. But we saw them not miss but incorrectly call 2 challenges with the same level of contact. Even worse, the new NBA flopping rule is supposed to award the other team free throws when it's reviewed and caught. That would have changed the game completely. Anyway, guys, thoughts, comments, questions, leave them below. Appreciate you for now. Mr. B, signing off. Peace.